Ember, this is what we're talking about today. I've had the pleasure of working for this company for just about 5 years now. Been in a number of different roles with the brand as we've been emerging. My initial role actually was on our Starbucks new product integration launch team. So our first official retail partner back in 2018 actually was Starbucks, which was really fun for us. We were able to learn a lot about getting into retail markets, and also as a really unique opportunity because it's very coffee centric. So a lot of our initial products that we were launching were, very focused around coffee, and really having that ease of access to, and kind of, again, just being able to see the product in person, I think was huge for us as an early brand. So a bit of background here on Ember specifically. So Ember really, it was created to solve a relatively simple problem. And that's really all about temperature control, right? So, when you set your air conditioning or even your heat inside your house, you don't just set it to kind of cool or kind of hot or, whatever. You set it to an exact degree. Same with cooking. You're going to set, an oven to exactly 350 degrees. So the idea behind Ember was why can't we take the concept of temperature control and implement that more into our daily lives outside of necessarily, a few things that we're doing for today, during the day. Why couldn't we take that and implement it into everything we do? So Clay really came up with the idea. Actually, the first product that he had in terms of the prototype was actually a plate. And we're still working on some more dishware, and our dishware lines will be launching on the roadmap within the next couple of years now. But he made some eggs in the morning and tossed the eggs on the plate. Then had to go. He had a newborn, so he had to go take care of his daughter, and then came back to the plate, and his eggs were cold. And he said, this is ridiculous. Why can't I come up with an idea or an invention rather to keep things hot and maintain the exact temperature that I want to enjoy that at? So that's a little bit of a background about the product and the idea behind Ember. But the first product we really brought to market, and we actually just brought our baby bottle to market last week, which is really exciting too, were our temperature controlled drinkware items. So you'll see here, this is our 14-ounce mug, which you guys will have complete access to. This is our travel mug. And then this is one of our newer products in the line, which is a 6-ounce mug, a little bit of a lower price point, more entry. I would say this is really aimed at someone who already may have an Ember mug and they're, really into coffee and they're utilizing it for more espresso and kind of like latte art and whatnot. But you can see here, again, it works great on a desk, kitchen environments, and they just look really good standing alone too. And I'll get in a little bit more into how the product works here, and you guys will have access to these brand assets as well too. So currently we have a number of high quality retail partners. We're in Apple stores globally in 134 countries. We're in Best Buy nationally in the United States, as well as in Best Buy Canada in brick and mortar, as well as online. We're in Bloomingdale's. We have presence at Costco. We've been in Kohl's for a while. This is like a smaller piece that we've been working on. Obviously, we're in Target. It's one of our major retailers. We do really well with them, specifically during holiday season. Williams-Sonoma is a good outlet for us as well. But a number of fine retailers that we have presence in currently. It's just really been growing the brand and the awareness over the last number of years as well too. So in part, now our idea is how do we generate the widest amount of exposure to really introduce this product and what these products do to the audience. So again, here's the main three products that you guys will have access to, and they're really our best sellers too. So I'm not sure, that may have been a coincidence that we planned that, but so we have 10-ounce, we have our 14-ounce, and then our travel mug. All three of our products work the same in terms of exact temperature control. You will notice though that the travel mug actually has the temperature control on the outside of the product via touch sensors, where the 14-ounce and the 10-ounce mug are more of a set it and forget it model. Out of the box, they'll come set at exactly 130 degrees. So if you're not super tech savvy, or if you don't like to have an app for everything, you don't necessarily really have to ever use the app. You can just pour your hot coffee in or your hot tea right away. And then as soon as the mug detects that there's hot liquid in there, it will begin regulating it exactly at 130 degrees due to the components and the setup inside. So we'll talk a little bit more about how the product actually works on this next slide too. So again, this is our 10-ounce mug. And again, really, it's a home or an office type of vibe. Again, the idea behind it too is that when you put your coffee in it, it doesn't need to be on the coaster. And I think that that's something that people don't quite understand when they initially look at our products, is that all the technology is actually in the mug itself. So the coaster itself just operates as a wireless charging coaster, just like an iPhone or any other wireless charging device. But all the technology is actually in the mug itself: the lithium-ion battery, the thermal sensors, the Bluetooth, and everything that's doing to regulate that temperature too is also in there. So you can see here, the main two colors you guys are going to be having access to are our black 10-ounce and our white 10-ounce. We do have a number of different options that we can get into later on more curated or specific opportunities that may come to you guys. If someone says, hey, I really want something with metallic, or I'm interested in a big wow factor to get something that nobody else has access to, you guys can certainly reach out to us and we can get that organized. But what you'll have in-house will be the black and the white. So this little smart LED logo this little smart LED strip down here. So this is actually going to tell you a couple of different things. The first of which is it's going to tell you that the product's on. So it does go auto to sleep when it detects that there's nothing in it. But this LED strip will actually pulse when the product is getting ready or cooling it or heating it up a little bit until it reaches that exact sweet spot that you have the product set at. And then it will maintain that LED when it's actively maintaining the exact temperature. So there's a couple of the product knowledge there. In total, the range of temperatures that you can set on our products is between 120 degrees and 145 degrees. Again, out of the box, all the products will come in exactly 130. So really, there's no setup required. It's actually pretty ingenious how we designed this. And the idea behind it too was it was designed for ease of use, and that you could just get up and have it running right away. Didn't require a bunch of setup. Don't have to get on your phone to make it work. Literally, all you'll do is take it off its coaster after you've charged it back up, and then put your coffee in, and it'll start working right away. So a little bit more again about the 10-ounce mug. So on average, depending what your set temperature is, off the coaster, again, when that lithium-ion battery is working, I get anywhere between an hour and a half up to 2 hours. I set my temperature at 128 typically, so I get a little bit more battery life. But it's just like anything, with your phone, if you have your brightness turned all the way up, the battery's not going to last as long. With our products, if you have the temperature turned all the way up, it's not going to last as long either. And then decoration options on this for you guys is going to be spot printing, single, multicolor, or laser engraving on these. And you guys are pushing out some samples right now that your team will have visual access to, and I can show a little bit more in the end about kind of how the product looks when it's done as well.
I think most of us.
So again, in black and white. Great, that's fantastic. So yeah, black and white here.
Yeah.
And then we do have our metallic collection, which has been a really good seller, again, for more specific needs. So think really the metallic collection has been great for like banking. The financial teams really seem to like this silver. And then obviously we have our gold mugs, which do really well in awards situations, anniversary situations too. But the black and white, obviously the best sellers. Same piece here with our 14-ounce, excuse me. And then we have here our rose gold, which is available in the 14-ounce as well. And then we have our copper, no stainless in the 14-ounce, but we do have the black and white, which is fantastic. So now getting into the fun stuff here, here's our travel mug. So this is really kind of the Lamborghini or the Ferrari of travel mugs, if you say. There's a lot of different components that go into this. I've actually got one right here, which you can take a look at. So the idea behind this is same to our other temperature control products, but again, you're going to actually be able to set and maintain the temperature on the actual product itself. In this one, I traditionally get anywhere from 3 up to 4 hours of battery life. And again, it's all about maintaining that exact set temperature, right? I'm sure some of you, when you maybe utilize a double walled, drinkware product, when you pour it in, it's really, really hot and it stays very, very hot for very long. With our products, the idea behind it is to let that cool down. And then as soon as it detects that it reaches that desired temperature, it's just going to maintain that indefinitely. On the coaster, again, when you're using it on the coaster, it will have that exact set temperature pretty much forever. But then off the coaster is when that lithium ion battery is going to kick in. And that's really what differentiates our products from a lot of other brands. Travel mug. On this guy, we're only going to be able to do single color and multicolor pad prints. And again, that's just because of the soft touch poly plastic on this product. And then the packaging for all of our products are beautifully designed here. You can actually see this is our red version of the mug, of our travel mug, which is a recent collaboration with Product Red. But all of our products will come in standard retail packaging. So in terms of, the user experience and being able to, touch and feel an actual retail product, it's a pretty neat experience to be able to unbox this with a logo on it, just like you would, if you purchase it from Best Buy or Williams Sonoma, or even ordered one on Ember.com. So I think now I do want to open it up for some product questions, just given that there's a lot I think that we covered, and it is such an innovative new product. So I'd be happy to, take any questions you guys have on the product, on the brand itself, kind of the future of Ember. And I'm not sure if any of you guys are aware of Ember before. We've been in retail for a couple of years now, but I'm sure some of you, this may be the first time hearing about the product and how it works as well. So
I have a couple of questions. I'm Carrie. I'm
sure.
in the Midwest. If people do have multiple styles, does that little coaster, is that interchangeable for the styles, or is that one, do you have to use the coaster that particular piece came with?
Yeah, that's a great question. So all the coasters are interchangeable. They work the same way with wireless charging. So on the bottom of your mug, if you have one, you'll actually see there's, I'll close mine up here. There's 2 gold rings right here.
Yep.
So on the bottom of that, there's 2 gold rings, and with the coaster, they're all set up the exact way with the touch sensitive pins on that. So the coasters are completely interchangeable between the 10 ounce, the 14 ounce, the 6 ounce. I actually tried to see if the baby bottle would work, the ceramic mug coaster last week, and I will say that does not work. But I think that was by design when I was in the office. So yes, all the coasters are completely interchangeable, which was, how we designed it and why we did.
Okay, then I have one more question. I was testing it
Sure.
this morning because I wanted to read up on it before our meeting, and
Cool.
So how do you have to charge the mug first? Like, how long does it have to be charged, or what do you do? Like when you first open it, what do you do just before you start using it?
Yeah, so it does have some charge, typical to like any other consumer electronics. I think it really depends kind of how long it was in the box. It is a little bit of a trip coming from China, so sometimes they can lose a little bit of battery on the boat. But yeah, typically you'd want to take that out and plug your coaster in, and then set your product on the coaster. Charge times typically vary depending on ambient temperature, but it's usually about an hour to get it fully charged.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and then just another note too, there is an on-off button at the bottom of the mug. It's on our 10 ounce mug, our 14 ounce mug, and our travel mug. Transparently, I really don't use that much. That would be like if you really wanted to turn it off for some reason. Again, it's never going to start heating or doing anything until it detects that there's warm liquid in it. So I rarely turn my mug off per se, usually because the auto sleep feature will just detect that there's nothing in it and turn it off for you. But in terms of, setup, it is pretty simple. it will have the touch LED, or excuse me, the LED light bar will turn red when it's out of battery, and then just toss that right back on the charger, and then it will have a strong white light. You can also update and change the colors. I'm not sure if you guys saw that within the app yet, but if you have multiple products within a household or an office, we actually built out a piece where you can change the color on the touch LED, so that when you go grab your mug, if it doesn't have your name on it or if it's a bit different, you'll actually know that it's last set to your temperature based on the touch or the LED that it was set at. So, for example, if we've got a couple of them in the house, and my wife likes her coffee a lot hotter than mine, I don't have to be worried that I'm going to grab her mug and it's going to be not the enjoyment that I have.
Ian, I have
it works really good in an office situation too, with that, certainly.
Jeff.
Yeah. Ian, I know that as you showed, you offer other colors in the product line.
Yes.
As far as minimum order quantities, I don't know if that's something that I would have to ask Brandon and Adam, but I mean, what would be the minimum? Would it be 1, 12, our normal MOQ, or as far as ordering?
Yeah, it would be 24 units for those ones.
Okay, thank you.
And again, I think that those are more specific with a buyer's needs. That's a lot more of like a, hey, I saw you guys have Ember. Can I get this specific one? For the red one, for example, that's been one where we have done some specific. There's a lot of companies out there with red logos and white logos. So we've been doing a lot of these for those types of opportunities that are more niche.
Cool.
Go ahead,
Ian,
Michael.
here. Just wondering, what's the typical lifespan of a product like the mug or the tumbler in terms of, do you guys go by uses or battery life? What happens if it goes out? I guess that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, we've been around now and had products in market for just over 6 years. So with any product that has lithium ion battery, there will be a cycle threshold, just like, smartphones. I think that our product, given that, it's used really once or twice a day, and then when it's not being used, it's on the coaster, that lifespan is a bit longer than per se, like other always on lithium ion battery products. I don't necessarily, have any details on the specifics for the cycle threshold. But I can tell you that, some of the products that I have from 5 years ago work, just fine. And it's not going to be like you wake up one day and it's just not going to be working anymore. It's just like with your phone, where the capacity of the lithium ion battery that it's using is just, over time, slowly getting less and less, because those ions have to work harder to get across.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but typically, again, it is a consumer electronics lithium ion battery product. So it does have, honestly, I'm pretty surprised, given how much I use, mine. I really don't see much, even after years. And by then, think of it this way: it'll be a great opportunity for you to sell them more mugs.
Hi, Christina here. I haven't tested mine. I'm trying to leave it fresh to show clients. And I'm kind of a coffee snob. So my thought, when I've seen Ember before, like I don't like coffee that's even an hour old, or, you know what I mean? So I'm wondering but sometimes that's because when people reheat coffee, which is like horrible.
Yeah, for sure.
They're burning it. Obviously, if you launched in Starbucks, I'm sure there was a lot of discussion around this, and I'll test it myself, but I'm wondering what the feedback is on coffee that's kept hot for a prolonged time. People love it.
Yeah, well, I think that's the benefit of our product, right? Is that it's keeping it hot, but it's keeping it at a temperature that it's enjoyable to drink at. And actually, sometimes it's pretty bizarre, but given the control that you have over this, coffee tastes different at different temperatures, given the notes of it, or the way that it's brewed. So there's a lot of factors in it. I will say though, like obviously, I wouldn't recommend leaving like this much coffee in it, because it will get pretty hot at the bottom there and might taste a little weird, because it's more so designed about, again, maintaining that exact coffee. And there's going to be a moment where you do come back to it, and hours, you may think you forgot it, and then you kind of like, all right, well, I still want some coffee, and by that time it's usually sludge or really cold. It's a pretty bizarre moment when you come back and it's the exact enjoyable temperature that you left it at. I remember even the first time I used mine, I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. I better find a way to sell more of these, make sure this company stays around. So we're doing really well now though. And I think it is kind of when you create that unique moment for a consumer, where they say, oh, you know what, I've never experienced anything like this. That really hits home. And especially with the baby bottle right now, that's truly going to be a life-changing product for a lot of parents.
Nice. Laird.
Yes, sir. Hi, Ian. This is Laird in the Southeast. Do these items come with a warranty of any nature?
Yeah, there's a limited 1-year manufacturer warranty on the product. You guys don't really necessarily have to worry about that. We've got our support team ready to handle anything that that you guys can throw at us in terms of, needs from clients after they receive the product. And we have a really high NPS score within the tech industry too. So we've been really recognized for our customer support team being able to help people out. So yeah, no general concerns. Obviously, one thing to note is that when they are working with our customer support team, they won't be getting a branded mug back as a replacement if there's found any to be faults on it. But we're usually pretty typically good about that within the 1 year.
So they would reach out to you, not us. Is that correct?
Yeah, on support, definitely. We want them reaching out to us, right? We want to be able to, support them because we're the experts on the product. And again, given a retail brand, we have a pretty large dedicated customer experience team over here to help you guys with that.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in that scenario, maybe somebody emails you up there, they say, hey, my mug's not connecting to the app. What's going on? You just want to shoot them right over to support@ember.com. Hey, what's up, Anthony?
Hey, Ian. Yeah, I had a quick question about the coasters as well. Like if something happens, are those, the coaster, are they available on their own? Like if somebody loses it, or if maybe they want an extra one or something like that is.
Yeah, we sell coasters as an additional accessory available. Again, I think that in the early years, given the production and how many units we were selling, that we did have an issue early on with some of our coasters, our early products. So yeah, it's no problem if we need to send out an additional coaster as a replacement. But again, I like what you're thinking, because a lot of people, whether they're working in a home office environment or they're, commuting from their home to the office, they will have a coaster at their desk, right? And then one maybe in their kitchen, right? So you think about it this way: you'll have your product sitting on the coaster after you've used it, sitting overnight. You make some coffee in your Keurig, you're on your way to work, and then when you get there, you've enjoyed your coffee at the exact temperature the entire time on the way to work. You toss it right back on the coaster. It's going to start charging it up again while maintaining that last set temperature that you had it at. Got to jump in a meeting, come right back out, and your coffee is still the exact same temperature that you set it at, which is pretty neat.
Perfect. So
can you leave the coaster plugged in then? Like, are you supposed to leave it all the time?
Yeah, it just operates as a wireless charger, correct. Oh. That's, I think, the one takeaway that, is kind of difficult to understand, is that truly all the technology is in the mug itself. That coaster is just to charge the mug. It's pretty remarkable, actually.
Will you talk?
So I've got a question. On the accessories that I saw on your website, and then Brandon, this might be your answer versus Ian's, but I saw there's a charger, a cup charger for the car. There's a lid accessory, etc. Are we gonna entertain? Oh, and a lid too. Are we gonna entertain stocking any of those, or would we want to send people to the retail site?
My advice would be, if someone's interested in that, please reach out to me and check on stock if need be. Again, these are accessories. They don't necessarily come in box. The lid is starting to get some steam, but realize that would become an additional pack out when drop shipping them to clients or doing a bulk ship. So just something to think about there. Typically, we haven't had people stock our accessories outside of some major retailers, but if that's something you guys are interested in and having as a differentiating factor, we can certainly explore it. Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, on the travel mug. So obviously there's no
Yeah.
insulation, but it is double wall. So after that battery kind of runs its course for the day, the 3 hours or whatever it is, what is kind of an estimate, or is there a type of estimate that you're comfortable discussing where it'll keep the temperature not at the 135 or whatever they had chosen for, but like a normal travel mug where it'll insulate and keep the temperature hot to some degree after that battery life runs out?
Yeah, for sure. I think that that's a good point. And actually, in some future products, we're going to be taking advantage of that, maybe for some cooling features. But the travel mug's really not designed to do anything besides maintain the exact set temperature. So obviously, there will be some, insulation. But at that point, we would probably recommend just tossing it back on the coaster. There's not really any, science behind that in terms of how long or what that does. And again, I think that one way to think about it too is that it's not like we just took a double walled insulated piece and stuck it inside of this. The benefit of this is actually, since it's constructed as so and it's not double walled, it's going to allow the coffee to cool down faster, right? And that's like a big challenge for a lot of, when you make coffee in a Keurig, it comes out usually like 190 degrees, right? So if you pour that in there, and without like adding any additional cooling or anything like that, it's going to take a really long time for that coffee to cool down. I mean, hours sometimes before you can actually take a sip. I mean, I was notorious for always putting ice cubes in my coffee to get it, like to try to get it to the right temperature. And then it just tastes like watered down coffee, right? So no, it's not really a traditional kind of thermos or double walled, as you'd say, because the construction is really made around one, letting the coffee naturally cool down as quickly as possible. And then as soon as it detects that it's at that temperature, so I've got mine set at 130 right now, then it will actively start maintaining that temperature for you.
So I noticed that the video, the gal was washing it, but kind of careful under the water. She didn't really submerge it, but it says you can submerge it. Like,
yeah, it's fully IPX7. It might even be IPX11 now on some of our newer gen, but it's fully IPX7 water certified. So yeah, fully submersible, no issues whatsoever. Pretty much the same as an iPhone. It's crazy. You can put your iPhones like underwater in a pool now to take pictures. It's remarkable how waterproof they are. But yeah, same with the mug. And one thought to think about too is that right now we don't list it as dishwasher safe, really because of the heat, not because of the water, but the heat that some commercial dishwashers put out. In the future, we are exploring ways that we can label it as dishwasher safe. Transparently, I put mine through the dishwasher, a couple of times, and there's really no issues. But I would say people don't necessarily need to worry about accidentally putting it in the dishwasher. It's going to be completely fine, unless if they have like, a commercial grade Wolf dishwasher for, restaurant. I probably wouldn't do that. And that's been a challenge for us. Integrating and launching in hospitality actually has been some of the issues around that. So we're actively working to fix that.
Ian, I have a question. I'm Catherine. I'm in the Southeast, like Laird. What have you seen has been like probably your largest?
It's going to be a good question too.
Apparently, the Southeast needs better internet service.
Hey, can you do that again?
Hey, Catherine, I heard you were asking about what's the largest, and then I lost you there.
Oh, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So what have you seen has been like your largest target market, the fastest growing market, industry, where you're seeing the largest opportunities? I love all the technology of this, and it's amazing. And I will tell you, just unboxing it yesterday when we received them was just quite a bougie experience that I was just incredibly impressed.
Sure.
Like I started looking at all this beautiful stuff and I'm like, wow, I get it. Like that's impressive. I even have stickers. I love stickers. So
Cool.
But for me as a sales rep, I love all the tech stuff, but like I'm all about the sales. So just tell me, where are you seeing the largest opportunity for growth? Your fastest growing market? Like where would you recommend, what do you see? Like, because we'll go after it. We'll kill it.
Yeah, for sure. I think, historically, some of our largest markets and success have really been tech startups, flush with VC cash. They really don't know what to spend it on. So we have sold a lot of mugs to that area. Obviously, they're not immune to any sort of the economic issues that are happening right now, given interest rates and things like that, for them to acquire new funds as well as launching products and kind of becoming profitable. Long term, though, I would say, industries that we've seen that have been more deterrents to the current, economic climates have been healthcare. Healthcare has been really good for us as of recent. Hospital systems have been really good for us. And those can even be local clinics, dentistry office. They seem to perform very well in those environments. Also, additionally, commercial real estate, any sort of real estate's been very good long term for us. Education, higher ed's been really good. I don't want to say everywhere, but given that it's such a unique product, I think that you're going to have an opportunity to even present this product to people who've never seen it before, which for them is going to be, a sales opportunity themselves, getting their hands on something that, they have unique access to, and being able to learn and touch and feel a new product is part of the experience. But yeah, tech, I would say, is, again, been our biggest success to date. But now that we're seeing some of those budgets be constrained with some of the inflationary pressures around events and travel for them and conferences, we are seeing a ton of demand from creative agencies, digital agencies. The way to think about it too is there's a lot of people out there, whether you're in a software, sales role or something, or maybe in supply chain, where they're fighting for business right now too. So, as budgets kind of dwindled or we're starting to, move in a different direction, towards the middle of last year, at the beginning of this year, companies are really going to have to turn on their outbound business development, whether that's gifting for clients, whether that's, trying to send gifts to close deals. So we're seeing a lot of that right now, where traditionally it had been used as an employee gift. People are using these a lot now to try to grease the skids, given that the market environment's a little bit more difficult to close larger deals for these software companies. I hope that answered your question. There's a lot of different markets. We also do really well with sports teams. I don't know if any of you guys manage any sports programs or whatnot. Boutique, I would say boutique retail and stores have been really good, whether that's people buying gifts for their staff or for agencies, creative marketing agencies. There's just a lot of opportunity out there for sure.
What's the average? Sorry, Brennan.
No, go ahead, CY.
What's the average order size for your corporate market projects? I see you have your own division, and then you're selling.
Yeah, let me see.
Partners.
Take a look right now, actually. I can actually jump in and tell you a live look right now. I'll probably pull out some outliers, just so that it's not too crazy, because those can really skew things when you get like the multi-thousand piece ones.
While you're pulling that up, Ian, I'll just jump on the obvious of what I think, to your point, Kay, that I'm most excited and very excited, not just from a hydration perspective, but just the gift market in general that this price point puts us into. And to Ian's point, with it being kind of like mobile tech, there's so much mobile tech out there at these different price points that puts us into these gift opportunities, whether that's real estate or, gift with home purchases, whatever it might be. So
that's a huge market.
It'll be fun for us.
Yeah, if you guys have contacts in that market, like, I'm so excited, because that's, some of the big guys, especially the custom home builders like Lennar and those like larger national organizations, like, we've been trying to figure that out on our own, and there's just too much service required for us to be able to facilitate that. But our average order size this year, removing a few outliers, appears to be 45 units.
Wow. Nice.
So just around $4,000 per order. And that's across all SKUs though. So, you know, obviously an order for 80 units on a travel mug's a $10,000 revenue opportunity or something close to it. So, yeah, I think that the biggest challenge for us really early on, guys, and I'll be honest with you. So I was tasked with launching this product into the corporate markets about 5 years ago. And, you know, this was when, you know, retail brands were not really as prominent and as desirable maybe in the industry as previously they had been. And, you know, but with a lot of, I would say, changes that have been happening in the consumer behavior around what people really want to use and buy, retail has been important. So people are willing to spend a little bit more to put a retail product in people's hands, it appears. But I mean, I would get laughed out of meetings. People would say, I don't have anyone that can afford that. I don't know who I'm going to sell that to. It's a great product, but it's too expensive. And, you know, five years down the line now, I think a lot of people have learned that, you know, even just presenting it and seeing what the feedback could be is important. Some people don't, you know, may not even know that they have access to high price point items, and then they think they'd have to go out and buy something like this on Amazon and try to get a 10% discount or something like that and work with a private deco, which a lot of people do all the time, right? So I think that was the biggest piece, is really just getting it out there, getting feedback. And it's a fun product to talk about too. And it truly is, you know, I'm hoping when you guys use them and work with them, you're going to have a lot of fun working with it too. Cool.
Thanks, Ian.
Yeah. I'm really happy you guys got samples in hand to see the packaging too. That's something that we're really proud of. And that was a decision for us very early on. We knew that the cost in terms of OpEx was going to be pricey to maintain the same level of retail packaging for our B2B markets, but that was something I was pretty steadfast on early, is that I did not want to change the packaging from our retail packaging on the corporate gifting aspect too. So yeah, just know that every time you sell one of these, this is the exact same product that's being sold in Apple stores, you know, right down the street. So
you found the right partner, Ian.
And we reiterated,
I'm excited.
You did.
And we shared that with our team on the last call, Ian. Just as a reminder to our team, is we're sticking to that exact same packaging, even to the degree of, you know, reapplying those adhesive seal labels on there, so they get that same unpackaging experience that, you know, KA described when she opened it yesterday.
From a brand integrity standpoint and from a experience standpoint, this is the best team in the industry. I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
10 years now. You're gonna see some explosive growth with this team. So
yeah, that's what I've been hearing a lot of. So I can't wait. I'm really excited to see what sort of velocity we're able to do. Again, there is some seasonality to the product, something to be aware of. But I think that again, I'm happy we're launching when we are, because it's going to create a lot of runway as the markets kind of move out through later this year and see where the budgets kind of typically fall. But it is such a unique product, and you guys are all fantastic at what you do. So I'm very excited to get feedback. I'm always available for any questions directly if you guys want to communicate with me on client concerns. I'm even happy to jump in and answer any objections clients have as an ambassador for you guys. Always down to help. So please let me know if anything else comes up. But it's been an absolute pleasure. If nobody's got any additional questions, I'm really excited to see what we'll be able to do together. And I believe this is kind of one of your first, you know, major retail kind of techish products, right, guys? So this is going to be a kind of a it's going to be kind of a new experience and like a new market for you all together too. And I just think that your clients are going to be so excited to see something like this being presented to them. You know, it's going to be really fun to hear some of the initial feedback around it.